Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Devi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. Philodendrons are now finding way into the gardens of each and every house, and I am also there in the rat race. I have got two philodendron, both of them little rare ones. One of them is this, with a nice variegated leaves, quite a huge plant. Bought it online. It was sent in coco peat and soil mixture. This is called as Philodendron Jose buono. That's what the Google says. We have to pronounce it as Jose buono, but the spelling is Jose, Jose, buono, buono, buono. So this is about the Jose buono. The other one which I got is Philodendron golden melinonii. I'll put the names on the screen. Look at this beautiful golden leaf. Very nice. So these have come yesterday and I am repotting them today. I am using this old potting mix which was already there. In this some other philodendron was there which didn't survive. I have another pot in which again another philodendron was there. There was a name tag here, it's not there now. So philodendrons are epiphytes, so they require a potting mix which mimics the bark of trees. They grow on the bark of the trees, and the potting mix should mimic that bark of trees. So this potting mix has got coconut chips, a little bit of mud. I think I'll discard this. Don't worry. I'll take a totally new fresh potting mix. These are the components of the potting mix which I am going to take. Coconut chunks. This is leca. This is Epsom salt. And this is the perlite. A little bit of potting mix or garden soil to give it a binding, and this is the vermicompost. For binding purpose, this potting mix which I prepared for cactus, which is really very sandy, that also can be used. Otherwise, sand needs to be mixed in this. I'll be adding a teaspoon of this antifungal. Because this is rainy season, plants require this antifungal. This is the coconut chunk. I'll add pumice powder. This is the pumice powder, and this will give a fast draining for this potting mix. I had prepared earlier for some other plant the same mix, I am adding here. So now this is well draining potting mix. To this I will add this cactus type of garden soil which I prepared. It has got lots of sand in it. It will add to the fast draining of the potting mix. This is about 1/4. I am mixing all these together. Philodendrons are foliage plants. For good development of the foliage, we need to add Epsom salt. There are 2 plants, so 5 grams, that is 10 grams. I am adding 10 grams of Epsom salt. Now these coconut chunks, they do not have any what you call nutrition in them. For nutrition, I am adding vermicompost. That is the only source for nutrition in these plants. Otherwise, these philodendrons, they grow on the tree barks. So from the bark of the tree, they acquire the nutrition. We have to provide nutrition through vermicompost. So this is half the quantity of the coconut chunks. I am mixing all this again. I am not mixing these leca. I will be placing them in the pots later. I will show how. So this is now mixed thoroughly. To this 5 grams of antifungal. I have added 5 grams of antifungal also. Coconut chunks form a very good potting medium for these philodendrons, but they do not have any binding. For that sake, I added this. It has got soil as well as sand in it, and it will also give a fast draining type of potting mix. Now this mixture is ready. I will empty the old pots and then fill this in that. I am putting this old potting mix in this pot. The coconut chunks are so wet. I will place this coconut chunks back at the base so that it absorbs all the extra water. To this, I am adding the potting mix which I prepared just now. Now on this, I am placing this Jose buono, but before that I will keep the leca underneath this and then place this plant. So I have placed a few leca. Now on this I will place the plant, and around this I am going to keep leca again. So this is how I have placed. Underneath this plant there was leca. I placed this plant, and now around it also there is leca. Now I will fill the remaining pot with the potting mix. So I have finished potting one plant, Jose buono. This is the other pot. I am removing the old potting mix. Here also I will retain this lowermost coconut chunks at the base of this pot. Yes. I'll now fill this pot with the potting mix which I prepared. Same procedure, because both of them are philodendrons, so there is not much change in the procedure. Now above this again I will place the leca. These are the leca. This is one layer of leca. I think the plant requires more space. It's not going inside. I'll have to remove the potting mix and redo everything. I removed a bit of potting mix. Now this is perfect. I'll now arrange all the leca balls around this plant. I brought a few more leca. What I am going to do is take this plant. I have placed leca down. I have placed one layer of leca down. Now I have placed the plant like this on the leca. These roots I am allowing outside, because these roots will go into the soil underneath and absorb the food material. So that I am keeping as it is. Now here I am putting leca again around the plant. I would also like to keep leca in between the roots. Underneath like this, in between the roots also. Similarly here. In between the roots. I have used a lot of leca. Now around this is how it looks. Now I don't know whether it was clear. This is the final look of the leca around the plant. So this is how the leca will be arranged in the pot, and in between the roots also. Now fill the pot with the remaining potting mix. Plant is not yet stable. I'll have to give it a stacking. This is a temporary stacking which I am giving right now for it to stabilize and then develop new roots. Later on it has to be given a moss stick. This is done. Sunlight requirement for the plant. It requires morning sun or evening sun. Hot afternoon sun will burn the leaves. It cannot tolerate very hot sun, or otherwise it can be given bright indirect light. Sunlight from morning 8 o'clock to about 10 o'clock is okay, or in the afternoon from about 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. that sunlight is very good for the plant, especially for Jose buono, because it has got variegation. It definitely requires at least minimum 2 to 3 hours of direct sun to develop that variegation. It requires direct sun for at least 2 to 3 hours, but that sunlight should be morning sunlight. It will definitely help the plant to develop the variegation. That is about the sunlight. Water requirement. They require a consistently moist potting mix. That means the potting mix should not be allowed to dry out completely. As we know, philodendrons are epiphytes. They grow on the bark of the tree. So from the bark of the tree they will be getting a consistent moisture, and from that bark only they will be absorbing the nutrients also. So similar situation we need to create in the potting mix. What I would be doing is, I would be watering the plant once in 3 to 4 days. I will not allow the potting mix to dry out completely. The potting mix should not become too soggy. We should take care that the potting mix remains consistently wet all the time. When you poke your finger into the potting mix, it should be wet, not soggy. Too much moisture is not required. That is about the water requirement. Then comes the nutrition. I have given it vermicompost. That nutrition will be enough for about 1 month. After 1 month, I would be replenishing the potting mix with vermicompost. And these philodendrons, they are foliage plants. Spraying Epsom salt mixed in water will be very helpful to develop very nice large foliage. What should be done is, 1 liter of water is taken, any water, tap water can also be taken. To that 5 grams of Epsom salt is added and it is mixed well, and that is put into a sprayer, and that can be sprayed once in a month or even once in 15 days also. It can be sprayed on the leaves. Epsom salt gets absorbed very nicely through the leaves, and so it can be sprayed. That means Epsom salt can be given as a foliar spray. That also is okay with the plants. It will develop very nice big or large foliages or the leaves. So that is about the nutrition of the plant. I would be watering the plant just to wet the potting mix, because the roots were exposed and the plant had come yesterday, so the roots might be starving, they might be very thirsty. So I'll just water the potting mix till it becomes just wet, and I'll keep the plant in shade for about 3 to 4 days. Once the plant settles down, it will put out new roots. then it will put out new branch. It will not happen in 1 week, but after 1 week I am going to shift the plant to a place where it gets very tender sunlight, that is morning sunlight. In my garden I have a place where it gets morning sunlight from about 8 a.m. to about 10:30. So that is about the repotting of the two philodendrons, Philodendron Jose buono and Philodendron golden melinonii. So thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.